Hey, what's going on, Screen Peekers? My name is Nick, and I am your host today to go over the Summer Game Fest 2026 predictions. If you listened or watched our last video, you know what games we had on our wish list and what we were predicting, and let's see if we were correct. And let's talk about what we were excited to see. But first, let's go over some intros. Again, my name is Nick. I'm your host today, and with me, he is the ultimate Xbox fan, but when he watched yesterday's show, he texted me that this was one of the best gaming shows he's seen yet. Welcome to Marco. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's poppin', Nick? Yeah, honestly, pretty good show. I'm feeling, it's hot outside. It's actually really hot outside. It is officially summer.
I
Summer's
know.
here, and as hot as it is and as sweaty as I've been, I'm glad Jeff Keighley cooled me off a little bit with some breezy, beautiful games.
Absolutely, man. But before we jump in, some housekeeping items, as always. If you're listening or watching on the YouTube side, please make sure to hit subscribe for more notifications for when we put out new videos. Press the like button if you enjoy our content. And again, make sure to comment. We've been getting an influx of comments, and we love discussing with you all the content of our videos, gaming in general. And yeah, if you're on the Spotify side of things, make sure to follow for notifications, and please leave a comment where we'd love to hear from you. Um,
Yeah, and tell us about what we got right or what Nick got wrong.
um, yeah, awesome. Well, Marco, why don't you start us off with what was the one game that got you super excited?
Oh, you're hitting me with one off the bat.
Yeah.
Okay. I my game of show. I'm stuck between three. I think the one maybe I'll kick off with is let's just talk about it since it was in our prediction video. I said Capcom was going to be there. Capcom came out in a big way. Resident Evil Veronica opening up the show, and dude, I didn't expect to see full like gameplay per se, but just dude, I don't know, it was like the creepiness, the eeriness, like that whole time, like that nice French grandmother was like, what's gonna happen to this poor lady? I love that trailer. I think it really set the tone. We know Capcom has been absolutely killing it with the Resident Evil franchise lately and
Oh
these
yeah.
remakes. And I'll be honest, like I think as a kid I played a little bit of Code Veronica X. I don't know if I finished Code Veronica X. I definitely played it, but I don't remember actually beating it. So this is like the first one where I'm like really excited because I was like, I don't remember Code Veronica whatsoever, as opposed to like Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, which I remembered pretty well. So I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand how Capcom does it, but they're just churning out video games and they're churning them out at a high quality. Look at all these devs out there. They're taking 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years to make a game. Capcom at this point,
Yeah.
it's like yearly releases. I get it, they're remakes, but they're quality
No, like
remakes.
they
They're
are well and
amazing.
above. Right. This
Yeah,
is what a remake, all remakes
should
should
be.
aspire to be, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And no, it's a fair point. Like I like Capcom has in like a 5 years time just turned around and become one of the best publishers, developers of our time. And they really turn things around. So hats off to them. Dude, that I'm there day one. I loved every Resident Evil game, and dude, the creepiness factor on this one was so good.
It was so good. And like in the middle of watching the stream, my stream started like cutting out and it like went back and forth, back and forth. I thought it was part of the trailer and I was getting creeped out. It was when they're entering the
Yeah.
apartment. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, but then it just turned out, I think it was just my internet. But yeah, absolutely love the vibe. Super creepy. The only gripe I had was the voice acting sounded a little off, and I don't know if it was because of, again, my internet, but I feel like the voice didn't fit the little old granny, but who knows? We'll
Yeah.
see.
I will say for anyone who watched the live stream like I did, like they had audio issues. That was like, I thought overall it was a really good show. Jeff, I think Jeff gets a lot of hate from a lot of people. I've always liked Jeff. I think he does great things for the community.
Oh yeah.
But this, from a quality of the stream wise, this was honestly one of the worst shows from a technical perspective. Like,
Okay.
people, it was fun seeing live chat. Like, they kept looping audio. They had to rewind, fast forward. It was an absolute mess. But if you see the trailers posted afterwards, I thought it did. I thought the voice acting, like that French grandma, she drew me in. I was like, I love this woman.
You got
I
something
want
for
a
French
bonbon.
grannies, huh?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I hope she's okay. That's all I gotta say. I don't know what happened to her, but I hope she's okay.
Yep.
How about you? What I have a solid list of like 4 or 5 that, like,
Yep. Yep.
I said, oh my god, but where are you
Man,
going first?
dude, I don't even know where to begin. In our pre-show, I was just telling you that I quite honestly, I think I would play legitimately every single one of the games that they presented at the show. I think at the Sony State of Play, I think I was like, oh, there are like 3 or 4 that I wouldn't play. At this Summer Game Fest, I was like, man, I would play every single one. So I think today's video we're gonna mainly talk about games that we would both play. But I would pick Guild Wars 3. I think I didn't mention it in our previous video, but that was one that was on my list, and I was expecting them to push out a teaser or something about Guild Wars 3. I've been a huge fan of the Guild Wars franchise for the longest time, since the first one, the second one, and it's about time, man. And it. Have you played a lot of MMOs in the past?
No, I was just about to say, I'm not the biggest MMO guy, but
Okay.
I know people love Guild Wars, and honestly, I know you're gonna laugh as soon as I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. They announced it also for PS5.
There you there you go.
Like, honestly, why not? I know MMOs on console probably isn't the preferred method, but no, I mean, look, anything fantasy RPG, I'm there. I just never got into. Is Guild Wars free to play, or do you have a monthly subscription?
So that's the thing. Guild Wars is free to play. No, you have to do the one-time purchase, right? You got to buy the game. You have to buy any expansions, but no, you're not paying like a monthly subscription.
I'm
WoW.
there. I mean, yeah, that's the only reason I never played in WoW. It's like I'm not doing a monthly subscription for a game, but
And listen,
yeah, no.
I think it works on PlayStation because their combat is actually a lot more unique than like the WoW combat. WoW is very much like you need like all these different macros and keybinds and all this crap that it gets super messy. Guild Wars, the combat is a little more simplified, like their skills. And I will bet, and I will put money that they simplified it even more so that it's going to be very streamlined with the controller. So yeah, as a big Guild Wars fan, yeah.
Let me ask you this then, because I knew something was coming from the team, and I saw some talk like it's going to be Guild Wars 3. Some people are saying it's just the next new Guild Wars 2 expansion. Do you worry at all that it is a full sequel, and like, does it split the community? Did it need a true successor to Guild Wars 2, or should they just do a new, whatever version release of Guild Wars 2? Like, what about it being a new one gets you excited, or what's your thoughts on that?
Hopefully, and I think it is a new engine, so that's a plus. Another thing is being able to tell stories that they weren't able to tell in the first 2 games, right? I would imagine this is like a different setting, different time period within the universe, and who knows? I mean, they even said that they will keep Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 2, and Guild Wars 3 in development at the same time, which, like you said, it is a little worrying that splits the player base. But if I've learned anything from Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2, both games are still being updated, and both are super popular. I think ArenaNet can do it too. What they'll probably end up doing is they'll have these like seasons, and they'll break it down probably by like, the first 4 months will be Guild Wars 1 update. The next 4 months within the year will be Guild Wars 2 update, and the last 4 will be Guild Wars 3, something like that. I'm sure they'll figure out the cadence, but I think they can do it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more. Like I said, not a big MMO guy, but I've always wanted to try at least one, so maybe this is the one that finally draws me in.
Yeah.
Um, I think one that I'll mention that there's a couple games that obviously we had never heard of. These are brand new announcements that really just blew me away. And I think one of these two that I'm about to mention are probably my game of show. That game Blood Message that was set in, I think it's China. Yeah,
Yeah.
China year 848.
Yeah. It looks so good.
Like we talked about during our Sony reaction video, like how ill doesn't look like a real game. Blood Message did not look like a real game. But if that's gameplay, I mean, talk about an immersive, visceral experience. Like, just I was so drawn in that entire time. Just I'm a big sucker for combat animation, and when you get that right, I think it's what truly like draws you into a game. And yeah, it just looks so intuitive. Like, I'm very excited, and I love ancient history type games. What were your thoughts? But I think that could be either my
Uh
game of show or maybe it's definitely a top three.
yeah. If you remember, if you recall back in our Xbox Showcase prediction video, excuse me, I had mentioned that I was not a big fan of like the Chinese mythos, right, in
Mm-hmm.
video
Yep.
games. But when I saw this game, Blood Message, I was like, dude, this is a must play. It looks amazing, especially the very last scene where it's very reminiscent of like the the Battle of the Bastards in Game of Thrones, where Jon Snow
Yeah.
is going head to head against like the cavalry. That's what it reminded me of, and I was like, man, this game looks amazing. Unreal Engine 5. Um, it's going to be on both PC and consoles. Man, this game is going to be good.
They're pushing that engine to the limits with that one.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if that's Unreal Engine 5, like can you imagine what 6 would look like in however many years time? But yeah, no, in our predictions video for Summer Games Fest, I was like, "Oh, we're going to see Black Myth Zhong Kui." We didn't see that. And honestly, when they were queuing this one, I was like, "Oh, is this Zhong Kui?" And then it wasn't, but honestly, I'm glad I was wrong on this one. I didn't know this
Yeah,
was
this
coming
looks absolutely
and
insane.
easily became probably, top 3 game of show for sure.
Yeah. What do you think about that game called Crossfire?
That's the other game I was gonna, dude. I you know I think sometimes with like Milsim, I couldn't tell what it was at first. I was like, okay, this is like, I thought it was Ghost Recon or something, even though they didn't mention like Ubisoft. And I was like, this looks like, oh, we're getting a new Ghost Recon, Future Warfighter or Advanced Warfighter, and this is just like a more single player focus because they're going invisible and so forth. I was like, what is this? Um, no, that game looks incredible. I was a little thrown off because it started getting more sci-fi towards the end, and it was like they're like weird zombie. They seemed like zombies, but they seemed like extremists from like Iron Man 3 when they all turn red and stuff. um, no, but I thought honestly, like I'm sold on just the mechanic alone, and they were describing how contextually your player character like adapts to cover. So it's a very unique system, and honestly, I think this is gonna sound weird, but I've always had an idea for games in my head where I was like, wouldn't it be perfect if a game just had like adaptive animation and like you just throw in
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of
Yep.
animations and like the game randomly chooses an animation just to make you feel more immersed. This is exactly what I like an idea I've always had in my head if I was to be a game creator. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just intuitively adapting to the environment
Yeah.
to make like the way they were moving. I was like, I'm just sold on the mechanics alone. The story could be trash for all I know, but I thought it was super well acted and like, yeah, just like I was drawn in just how they're moving.
Yeah. No, absolutely agree. I think that's like the main selling point. The fact that, the main character, I think they're Layla and Cross, the fact that they can like move in, lean in against the rock, and it's so natural. And it's not like jarring, right? Because sometimes you
Right.
play a game. for example, I'll talk about James Bond. We're currently doing a playthrough of James Bond right now, 007. I'm a big fan of it so far, but some of the animations, like when you lean up against something, it could be a little jarring because it's not super natural.
Right.
The fact that Crossfire has that technology and they're doing that, it's so cool. And like you said, the story might be bad, but the fact that these mechanics are in there, it makes it fun. It makes it immersive. I think that's a big selling point. I'm super excited for it. I know it is on. I think it is on both PC and consoles.
Yep.
It gave me Spec Ops: The Line vibes. I feel like
Yeah, a little bit.
right. I think there might be some controversial or tug at the heartstring type scenes in this game, and I'm all for it. So yeah, I'm excited.
I will say the name is a little disappointing because as soon as they said Crossfire, and like again, it fits with the theme. It's
It's
like
the
two people with
2007
like
Crossfire.
or like the new one, like Crossfire X came out a couple years ago. It was on Xbox and PC, and that game is utter trash. I was like, is this Crossfire X like a new campaign in the Crossfire universe? Like, what are we doing? And it's entirely separate. I'm like, that naming convention is just very unfortunate.
It is a pretty generic name, and I
It's
just
so
looked up
generic.
Crossfire X. Like the guy on the cover of Crossfire X even looks
Could be that character.
very yeah, exactly. He looks like Cross. So
Yeah, it's such a miss on that part, but I get it if it's they have an uneasy alliance, they're whatever. But yeah, I mean, I thought the premise was like the sci-fi stuff aside because we don't know what's going on. Like
yeah,
yeah, like they're like killing their own essentially for some unknown reason. But
yeah,
yeah, no, I'm super excited for that one.
yeah.
I think that one's also in my top 3
Hey,
for
listen,
pure mechanics.
write this down. Write this down. I think this game will be a sleeper hit. Like I don't think people are expecting it to be like a hit. I legitimately think this game will be a hit. It
Yep.
they
I hope it
didn't
is.
they didn't give enough info in the trailer for us to really understand the story, and that's the best part, right? Like they at first
Yeah.
we think it's a war game, but then there's like some like sci-fi ish things going on. Who knows where they're going with this? And
This
it
is the
looks
first
good.
game from that studio too, right? Or am I?
They're called That's No Moon.
Yeah. Did they
I
do
think
anything before?
I don't think so. They're
Oh.
the website says they're an independent AAA studio. So
I feel like I've heard of this like when they were first founded. This might be their new project, their first project. So that's exciting.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know these studio leads off the top of my head, but nice.
Yeah. What else?
Um,
What else you got, man?
I want to make mention of Gen Atlas, the new game from Fumito Ueda, who made Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian. I think he's just one of those guys who's just a true visionary of our time. I wish he put out more games because he's only made those other 3 games. But Gen Atlas just looked incredible. I loved the cinematography, the vibe. I was just immediately drawn into this world, like what is going on. And then as soon as, they show some of the gameplay, like flying around on your little like mech head and you can like jump into giant robots and like anytime there's giant robots, sign me up, but put it, in the hands of Fumito to, build this like, post-apocalyptic, very scenic world. I'm extremely excited for that game. I think the vibes, the setting just really sold me. I remember seeing this game just when it was first revealed. I think it was 2, 3 years. It was at some Jeff Keighley show. I think it was like 2, 3 years ago when we first saw it, and I was immediately hooked. And I didn't expect to see as much as we did. So that's very appealing to me because I know Fumito takes a very long time to make his games. So I don't know how long it'll be till we see this game, but what I saw was extremely thrilling. I think it's in my top 3 games for this show.
Bro, I think you said that for every single game we've talked about.
Well, those are the 3 now. So now I'm out.
We talked
out of
about
3.
like 5 games, man, and they're all top 3
No,
games that you
no,
want to play.
Resident Evil is gonna be good. It was not a top 3. At the end of the day, like it's gonna be a great game. But the
Hey,
things that like blew me away, I'm going Blood Message, Gen Atlas, and Crossfire.
Hey, listen, man. I mean, yeah, they're all my top three. That's all I gotta say. I want to play
Yeah,
all these games, and yeah,
yeah.
I mean, Gen Atlas looked amazing. As soon as I realized it was a Fumito game, I was like, I'm sold. I am disappointed that it's going to be on Epic Game Store rather than Steam, and so I might have to dust off the old Epic Game Store.
Reset your password. You're fine.
As a PC gamer, man, I just I cannot stand using EGS, but if I have to, I will because Gen Atlas looks phenomenal.
We've been extremely positive so far, and we're gonna have more positive things to say. Should we turn the other coin and say anything that you were disappointed? I had two disappointments that I can
Uh,
mention, but was there
sh-
anything you want to mention that was like, eh? I know you would play everything, but anything that threw you off a little bit? Can't make it all sunshine and roses for Jeff Keighley.
um, I would say the one, like I said, every single game I saw, I would be so down to play. The one game I'm trying to find it on my list. Gundam. Gundam Rogue Orbit. Listen, I'm a big Gundam fan. Like I've loved Gundam since I was a kid. The cinematic of the trailer looked really good, but then once they got
Mm.
to the gameplay, I was actually really let down. I'm like, this looks nothing like the cinematic. And that's typically how it goes. But like actually it looked like nothing. And it doesn't give me like a huge Gundam feel to it, right?
I
Like
I was gonna ask you because like I was watching it and I was like I kept saying to myself because I was watching the show live before I knew what it was. I was like, is this Gundam? Oh, no, it's not Gundam. Is this Gundam? Like
right.
I did that like 3 times because yeah they didn't reveal the title card yet. I was like, it looks like a Gundam, but it doesn't totally look like
It's like an
Gundam
alternate
Wing or like
universe Gundam.
yeah it's like it's different aesthetic of like the Gundams themselves.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
even like the pilot like came out of the chest in a weird like cap. I'm like, don't they usually go through like the head or something? Like I don't even know. I was like, this doesn't seem like a typical Gundam vibe. And but also I have to say like Gundam games. I haven't watched Gundam in like over a decade. I used to love Gundam as a kid. I haven't followed it too closely in recent years. But Gundam games are such a hit or miss.
No, they really are. I remember there was the one Gundam game that was like Dynasty Warriors, but Gundam that
Yeah.
was I enjoyed it because I like as you know I'm a big Dynasty Warriors fan. But then there are some games out there that just I'm like, man, this probably
Yeah, there
should
was the
not have been made.
multiplayer one, which was like it was fine. The real disappointing one I remember 2006 was the PS3 launch title Gundam, which I forget it's called like Gundam Crossfire, another Crossfire, I think.
Yeah, Mobile Suit Gundam Crossfire.
Was it
Yeah,
Crossfire? Yeah,
yeah.
dude. Like I remember buying that game and being so let down, with just like how janky that game was. And that was like my most hyped PS3 game because that was when I was watching Gundam as a kid.
Hmm.
It was so bad. Um, I mean, this one, yeah, looked interesting, but no, I do have to agree with you. Like, it didn't blow me away. I'm interested in playing it, and I hope it's good. But dude, you just can't trust a Gundam game until it's out, and that's one it's not a day one purchase. I'll let the reviewers take care of that one and decide later if I want to purchase it.
Yeah. What about you?
Um,
What about you? I know there's one
yeah,
that's probably on top of that
I can
list.
I can mention that I can mention that one now, and then I'll mention my other one. So the
Okay.
other one we were talking in the pre-show because I texted you. I was like, before when you watch this trailer, I want to know what your reaction is. Stranger Than Heaven. Uh, you and I are both super excited for that game.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it in one of our videos, but we talked about it, personally at work. You know, the just the atmosphere, three or four different time periods. I forget if
Yeah.
it's 3 or 4 now. Different time periods set in Japan. Just the story, the acting looked amazing, and then here comes here comes Snoop Dogg, and I was like, all right, fine. Snoop Dogg is everywhere nowadays. You can't escape the man. Something that's tied to video games or Japanese culture, like he's gonna insert himself. And then even worse, it ends with the reveal of Tupac Shakur. Now, look, We all love Tupac. Can we stop hoisting
Let
deceased
the man
people in?
rest.
Let the man rest. Like, it was just I honestly, obviously it's not enough to like dissuade me from playing the game. Like it is what it is. But that was not a selling point, and I think you were mentioning some of the discussion online tends to agree with us that I mean the people in the showcase who were live at the event all started screaming and yelling, and I kind of sat on my couch and was like, are people actually excited for that? Like, you want to see a AI
Yeah.
whoever propped up Weekend at Bernie's version of Tupac like in your game? Like, what are we doing? And then he came on stage and was like, I'm close with the Tupac estate, and this is what
Oh,
he wanted.
jeez.
You don't know
Yeah.
that, man.
Yeah.
Like, let the man rest. So that was disappointing to say. Obviously, it's a small thing against the game. Like, you and I we're both gonna buy that game. I'm sure it's gonna be a phenomenal game. But that was just like, you're not selling it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's just trying to get closer to like the Western audience. Like, Western audiences, we love Japanese titles just as much as anyone. Like, you don't need to insert any of that stuff. Like, dude, keep it grounded. We're talking about 1920s Japan.
Well,
Like, I don't need Tupac.
I think RGG Studio, they just need to be confident in their game, right? I
Right.
mean, you don't need this like what do you call these situations where like you don't need like this as a wow factor. Let your game do that wowing for us, right? Like, or for
Right.
you, right? I mean, be confident in your story. It's that the premise seems very interesting. Be confident in the engine. Be confident in the gameplay. Just be confident. Like,
Yeah.
we'll want to play that. Just, you don't need to like pull Tupac in to sell it to us, man.
Dude, I think I told you, like, I didn't even watch the Xbox presentation that happened earlier in May. It was like 30, 40 minutes long, however long. I was like, I'm not going to watch it because I don't want to see the story beats. I want to be surprised when I play the game. Like, that's how confident I am in the game. I think, I was like, I'm skipping it. And then just to see that, I was like, that's a sour point. But again, small gripe, but I just thought that was a little disappointing. And no, the other one, not particularly a game per se, but we said this in our predictions video. I mentioned, like, I think Ubisoft was going to come out in some sort of big way because they don't have a presentation this year unless they do something later in the year in September. So I was expecting, hey, all eyes on Ubisoft during Summer Games Fest, and all they showed was another trailer for Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Resynced, which is coming in like 3 weeks. Which, yeah, sure, it looks like a good remake. I'm not gonna pick up that game day one. Like, I don't need to play Assassin's Creed 4 again. I have so many other games in my backlog. As good as the remake looks, but that's all they showed. And I thought they would do like a Far Cry 7 or
Yeah.
talk to me about Splinter Cell remake or give me something. Maybe they'll be at the Xbox show tomorrow, in some capacity. But I was just like, really, just another Resync trailer like that we've seen how many times now?
I I think at this point Ubisoft might as well just kneel down and let someone finish him off because I mean like
Hand over the
1666
keys.
Amsterdam, which is
Wait,
created by Patrice,
dude.
who that's the original Assassin's Creed
Yeah, yeah.
creator. That game looks good and showed up Ubisoft. Oh, that's all I gotta say.
Dude, can we talk about how that game? I was like, because the other next Assassin's Creed game is supposed to be Assassin's
Witchy.
Creed
It's like witch.
Hex,
Yep. Yep.
Hexe, Hex, Hexy,
Yep.
however you want to pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, is that already outdoing that game? Because yeah, it was like, I thought it was Salem, Massachusetts when I was watching the show, and then it was like Amsterdam. But I'll say it anyway. Like, yeah, it looks like a Salem witch hunt trials. Like, amazing. I was so drawn in.
It
I
was.
was like, they're
It
already
looked really
outdoing.
good. Yep.
So yeah, Ubisoft, shake it off. Like, show us something. But you gotta rise from the grave.
Absolutely. Um, there was a game that I was very excited when I first saw it. I didn't know this was a game that existed. Um, but I was also disappointed, so that's why I'm going to talk about it right now. That game, I don't know if you got a chance to see it. It's called Hakes.
They pronounced it
Hi-
Hex, but it's
Hex?
Haex.
Yeah.
On the guy who came on stage to talk about it, he said Hex.
Okay. Listen, as a big extraction shooter fan, like, and that's what this game kind of reminds me of. Like, it's like,
I think
it,
it is. Yeah, that's what it's doing.
yeah, yeah. Like the trailer instantly drew me in. Um, the sounds, like, it all reminded me of like Control and the Alan
Yeah.
Wake universe. You know, like anomalies. I'm on the Steam page right now, and it literally says an anomaly has been detected in the subarctic north. Um, you know, I was like, oh, this game looks really good, but what I saw was a little disappointing. I'm like, there's not a whole lot of sustenance, right? And then when I went on the Steam page, it says that it's coming soon to early access. Come on, man. Like, I get it. Like, you want to get some of your funding back. You know, update. All games do that now. But like, it just doesn't look like there's a whole lot of content. And these types of games will thrive or die by the amount of content on release and your roadmap. So,
Right.
yeah.
I I had the I had the opposite reaction. I thought it looked amazing. I thought it looked interesting. I was drawn in by, the concepts, the enemy design, the one big machine with like the giant eyes. Like that looks genuinely scary. And I I want that thing to chase. Like that's just I'm super excited for it, but I think you're right. Obviously, like these things live and die. Like, extraction we're in a weird time, right? We had Arc Raiders, which, while there's extraction shooters before Arc Raiders, like let's be honest, Arc Raiders kind of blew the genre and made it a little bit more appealing to a mass audience.
Yeah.
And then obviously Marathon came, somewhere in the middle between a Tarkov and an Arc Raider. So I'll be curious where this one fits in. Extraction shooters for years and years were like nobody wants these things, and now suddenly it's like, oh, actually
Well,
maybe they could be good. So
it's funny you brought up Marathon because that was the one game I compared Hex to, right? It, and as we discussed in one of our previous videos, Marathon felt like it lacked sustenance, right? Like it lacked content. It felt like it was too empty, and that's what I'm afraid Hex is gonna be like. I listen, and this might just be me holding it at a higher standard because I'm a big fan of this genre. But who knows? Maybe they'll prove me wrong because I would love for another good, solid extraction shooter to come out because I'm tired of Arc Raiders. Get out of here! I don't care anymore.
that's a hot take. That's a hot take. I do think in today's day and age, with Marathon and Arc Raiders still existing, still on a roadmap, not coming out on console is a mistake. I know I say that as a console guy and I have a bias towards console, but like to your point, like you need to come out to a large player base. There needs to be word of mouth. Like it is getting to become a pretty flooded genre. And so I do think it's a miss not coming straight to console out the gate, but we'll see how it works out for them.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see because I mean, like, look at Tarkov. It's not on console, and it's like one of the
Yeah.
biggest, extraction shooters. Like I said, I think it just depends on the content, the roadmap. Well, let's see if Dead Astronauts can deliver. I mean,
Yeah. I am pretty excited though. That was one of those. It was like, again, didn't expect it.
like it's pretty
New
unique,
intellectual
right? Like, it will
new
look,
intellectual property.
yeah,
I'm always gonna celebrate a
always
new
always
IP.
love to see new IPs. Yeah, exactly.
Uh, Maybe let's mention some other quick ones. I think you and I were both excited for Star Wars Zero Company trailer. Looked
Yes,
awesome.
yes, looks so
Look,
good,
that XCOM type,
dude.
I'll call it turn-based gameplay, but the story looks
It
awesome.
looks insane, right? And the customization looks insane. Now, I don't know if this is like a Reddit thing, but I was reading like the Reddit comments on the video, and people are like, "But where's the gameplay trailer? Like, where's the gameplay? It's all set up." I'm like, "Are you people not watching the video? Like, it depicts that it is XCOM like, right? Everyone's like,
Right.
oh, they're afraid to show the masses that it's similar to XCOM. No, they're not. You can literally tell.
It was pretty clear.
It's pretty damn clear, right?
Yeah.
They're not like listen, I played Midnight Suns, which was like the Marvel like
Yeah.
XCOM like card game, and that was really good. I have faith in this one. I mean, It looks good.
And this one's not cards, right? This one's
No,
just
no, this is
normal,
like
like X.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Day
Midnight
one.
Suns was good. Like the cards are fine,
Yeah,
but
I didn't mind it, but yeah, this will be a day one buy. I actually think we need to do a deep dive on this one.
oh yeah. Do we know if there's multiplayer? Because I feel like maybe if
I
there's co-op, you and I should do that
Yeah, if
one.
there's
But
co-op, I'm so down. But I think it is a single player game.
actually, I'd be remiss to not mention this one because this is a big one for me. I don't know if you played the original. To finally see Wolf Among Us 2 again.
Oh yeah.
I love Wolf
Oh
Among Us.
yeah.
I actually just recently, so my wife, I like to show her certain games that I think she'll really vibe with the story. She loved Wolf Among Us, so I showed her. I was like, "Oh, this game is finally coming out." So even my wife got excited. I don't know what's taken this game so long and why it was announced. I don't even know how long at this point, and that we still don't got a solid release date. They think they just said 2027 again. It's supposed to come out like 2 years ago, and it's a mess, but.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
happy we
excited.
saw a sign of life.
Oh yeah. I'm a big fan of the Fables comics,
Yeah.
right? Um, love the first game. I'm so happy the remaster is coming out because I don't really remember too much of the first game anyway, so I will buy the remaster and play that before the second one out. These are
I'm almost
fantastic
mad. I
games.
just replay. I literally beat the game like 2 months ago.
Oh
I was like,
yeah.
"Ah,
So now,
of course, there's a
yeah,
now there's a remaster. We've known about this Wolf Among Us 2, but it's fine. I'm not gonna replay it again.
yeah, yeah,
But I will get Wolf Among Us 2 day one. Um, let's talk. Let's give ourselves another point. We did correctly predict, like many others. We finally got as the ending into the show, Final Fantasy VII, the part 3 of the trilogy, named Revelation, which people were taking bets online. Is it Resurrection, Revelation? Um, Revelation won out, so I think had a Polymarket had a bet out that some people would have made some money. Um, yeah, I mean, looks great. Obviously, this is gonna be the biggest one,
yeah.
bigger open world, airship,
I mean, it's the
new
ending,
little.
right, of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
of
yep.
this game. So
I mean, it's gotta be. You can only how far can you
yeah,
stretch a 140-hour game?
yeah. No, it looks good. It looks great. Now, I did read something controversial online. Sephiroth, they changed the voice actor for this
Oh,
third,
really?
this third game of. It's so weird. It's like first, second, third game of this one game. Yeah, this third part, because of scheduling reasons. Sounds odd. Like, I feel like they were
Yeah.
just being polite. That's like the PR answer, but something clearly happened because, like, why would you randomly switch out one of the main, like, the main antagonist of the game, like their voice, the voice actor in the third part? It just
Hmm.
doesn't make sense. So,
It it was almost too like funny like on the live show like because the developers came out and were talking about it like how much they like mentioned like and this is cross platform day one like they were just talking about like not that them and Square Enix and Sony have bad blood but I think Square Enix was definitely disappointing in the numbers and they definitely thought releasing on PS5 exclusively hurt their bottom line, which I think is true. But it was just weird too, to like how much they said it like 2 or 3 times, and it's coming on all platforms. Like, so big win to the Nintendo and the Xbox fans out there who have had to wait so long for Rebirth to come out. But I just thought it was funny. It was just like they keep reiterating that we're no longer exclusively partied with Sony on this one.
yeah.
Um, Speaking of which, that's a good segue. The new Stellar Blade game, which I was not on my bingo card, being that Stellar Blade had come out. Is it 2024 or 2025? I never played Stellar Blade. It's on my backlog. I still have to purchase it, but really interested in Stellar Blade. It was kind of one of those big Sony PS5 single player exclusives, even though it was not made in house um, by Sony. Uh, but super interesting that the sequel, so Stellar Blade, Blood Rain, was announced at Summer Games Fest and not at the Sony State of Play, because the game is coming to Xbox, and it
Yep.
is interesting that there's been a lot of discussion between should consoles have more exclusivity, should they not be exclusive? it's just super interesting that it's a win for Xbox, which really does need more Japanese games to really you know market themselves to an Asian audience. But yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Funny that
No,
they're like
I
here it
haven't played
is,
the first
not at
one
Sony State
either.
of Play.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't played it either, but it is on my backlog. It looks really, really good. I've only heard good things and seen good things about it. So yeah, I'm excited for this new one. I'll definitely play the first one first though. So
Oh yeah, yeah, we'll get to it.
yeah, um, I know we're coming up on time here, so I wanna there's two more games I want to talk about, Marco, before we wrap up. Let's talk about Virtual Fighter first. Um,
Yes, thank you.
what did you think about that game?
I was impressed.
Yeah,
I don't think I was ever big into Virtua Fighter, but I similar games like I do like Tekken and like my Dead or Alive's. Never played because the last one was what Virtua Fighter 5 on
dude, it
PS3.
was like
And
a long time ago. It feels like it.
what are we talking like 2006, 2008,
Dude,
something like that?
it feels like it's a
Crazy.
long time. But
But
it looks
they
good.
really hit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I like the single player like RPG esque like aspect that they're throwing into this game. That's unique.
yeah, and just the setting too. I don't know if were they in Brazil or somewhere or
Yeah,
somewhere South America,
like a
right?
fight city. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like just yeah, I don't know why I'm a real sucker for fighting game stories. I
Yeah.
feel like they're always super campy and out there, but I
Yeah.
don't know why a good fighting game story like
It just gets me going,
draws
man.
me in. It gets me going.
Gets me
Like
going.
I'm pretty excited for it. Like I when they first announced it, I was like, okay, well, fine, whatever. Like I was never big into it, but no, I think they
Yeah.
sold me.
Yeah. Looks good. And then let's wrap up with this one game. I know it was a little controversial for the audience, you included, I think. I want to talk about the Blood of the Dawn Walker.
Okay, yeah, I so not controversial in the sense that we don't like the game.
No, it looks good.
I'm
I'm playing it.
honestly
It looks good.
probably one of my most anticipated games for the year,
Yeah.
outside of like a GTA, a Gears, and a Wolverine. Um, I my top favorite game of all time probably is uh, I'll just say it, but it's probably Witcher 3. Maybe it's number 2, but this comes from some of the same people. Yeah, how can it not be? That game's incredible. But comes from some of the same people who worked on that game, and looks like very much in the same vein. I'm gonna be there day one. My controversial bit was I thought they showed too much, and they started talking about a modern setting, and they had the villain in a modern setting. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa! We haven't
I
played
thought
the
that was
first
cool.
game.
I think they swung for the fences there. I mean, I think like the general reception is like, yeah, they showed too much, but I think they showed us just enough there that now everyone's like talking about it, right? Before we're expecting a full on like Witcher setting, like medieval esque fantasy
Which is what
setting.
I want, though.
No, but this is cool. I mean, like, I like that we're doing these time jumps. I mean, it's unique. It's not done a lot, and if done correctly, it could be good. So, I'm excited. When I saw the trailer at first, I thought it was the Blade game that they were gonna
Yeah,
like tease and stuff. But
I'll probably see that tomorrow at Xbox. But yeah.
dude, that's gonna be sick. Yeah, but yeah, I absolutely can't wait. It looks phenomenal.
I mean, look, I was sold before any of this stuff, and I've mentioned this before. Like, I love a good vampire genre, and I want more vampire games generally, especially vampires in modern day. I think is super interesting. But excited that I'll get both, I guess, in this game. But I could have done without it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, there you have it, Screen Peekers. We're wrapping up here. Again, if you're on the YouTube side, hit subscribe, hit like, comment. We'd love to hear what games you are the most excited for that you saw. What games didn't hit for you guys. Spotify, same thing. Please follow us for more notifications and hit comment. So that's it, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.